And
now you're going to leave Mathis's mic up so he can
Yes, we're going to comment on it as we go along.
Okay.
Here.
Sure.
So this will be Mathis's voice.
Now this video is available on YouTube for anybody who would like to go look it up. This video was shot by a very good friend of mine, Emily Forman of I-Witness Video. If you go to YouTube and type in shocking video of Iraq vet trampled by police horse, you will find this. Or type in Nick Morgan. That's his name. All right.
Now we're watching it now. I have the volume of the tape down a little bit so we can talk over it.
Sure.
But you can hear a little bit of it.
Well, this is outside.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have not switched it over properly. We're going to go back to the beginning.
Sure.
And what is going on? Oh, I see.
Okay, there we go.
Good to go? Or?
No, we're good to go. I think. Let me check here.
But yeah, I encourage people to go online, look at this video.
Okay. I'm going to start it again.
Okay, good. And indeed, spread this around because American people need to see this. That this is how the police are treating our vets. How are they treating the residents of Hempstead? All right, you see here Nick Morgan on the ground, on the sidewalk, after being stepped on by Officer Quagliano's horse. As well, I encourage people to call the Obama campaign and the McCain campaign and ask and demand that they condemn the actions of these officers this night. As you can see, this is after myself and Chris had been arrested. We were sitting on a bus watching this right now, and there's Officer Quagliano on his horse, aggressing a line of veterans with their hands clearly behind their backs, not being aggressive towards the cops at all, moving back towards the sidewalk as fast as they could with the massive demonstrators behind them. There's Officer Quagliano right there. He's about to actually hit my friend in the face with his horse. Literally, he used it to slap him around. It was the most bizarre, unprofessional thing I've ever seen from an officer. But yeah, as you can see, the demonstrators, they are not aggressing towards the police. They're well, right now you're only looking at the police, but
you do feel bad for the horses, don't you? It's terrible.
I feel bad for my friend Nick Morgan, who was crushed by that horse, and I feel bad for the horses as well.
Because they didn't want to.
Oh, look at that.
They would drag that guy off the sidewalk, and then they just start beating people here, and they pull them to the ground. And then that's actually Officer Quagliano's horse in the upper right-hand corner up on the sidewalk. He just stepped on Nick's head and nearly killed him.
Right there he is on the ground.
Oh.
That's Jabbar Magruder, one of our members, trying to render first aid to Nick Morgan and trying to keep the horse back so it doesn't continue trampling him.
I'm going to go back just a little bit if we can.
Sure, that's fine. It's gonna repeat this again once more at the end of the video as well.
Okay, good. I just want to stop there.
That is Jabbar Magruder,
I see, and
one
there
of our
he is.
members from Boston, trying to render first aid to Nick. And actually, in a second, you'll see he is chased away by a police officer who then proceeds to jostle Nick's head and neck around, and they ended up flipping him over and dragging him off the sidewalk. Anybody who's ever been through one day of medical training knows if you suspect somebody of having a head casualty or a head injury or a back injury, you don't move them. And you can see here these officers just right there a little bit jostling him around. Nick was nearly killed by this experience. If that horse had stepped 2 inches higher on his head, it would have fractured his skull cavity. And I would be short one dear friend in this country, would be short one war hero who has had the courage to come back and actually speak out passionately and honestly about the truth of what's going on in Iraq. And these police officers actually this evening damn near broke my heart. Yeah, there's Quagliano pushing up against the crowd with his horse, obviously trying to. There you go, see? He just backed right in. There's Nick Morgan. They provided a captain for you there, and he gets. Maybe him slapping with the horse isn't.
But you abuse everything else. They're not
As you can see, there's a clear distance between the police and the protesters. Nobody's trying to start a fight by any means. We were very explicit about our non-violent intentions throughout this entire process. They just grabbed that kid off the sidewalk.
By the way, we're here with Matthis video that we saw. We're live, and that's our number on the screen, 212-757-1538. If you'd like to call, we will take your call so you can join the conversation.
This is video of Nick Morgan, an Iraq veteran, being trampled by a police force at a nonviolent demonstration at the final presidential debate in Hempstead, Long Island. Basically because the candidates were more concerned about hearing from Joe the plumber than they were from their own veterans. 10 veterans and 5 of our supporters were arrested. One here that you can see was trampled by a horse. We were all taken to jail. We were all harassed mercilessly by the Nassau County Police Department.
I'll ask you more about that in detail in a moment. This is pretty amazing footage.
Look, they actually put handcuffs on Nick Morgan. They actually put handcuffs on him. They picked him up, they walked him across the street, they put him on the arrest bus with the rest of us. As soon as he walked on the bus, all of the veterans were like, this guy's got a concussion. I mean, most of us are trained
to go to the hospital.
Combat lifesavers, right? We were all like, this guy has a concussion. Officers, he needs immediate medical attention. And these officers literally looked at us and they said, well, he didn't ask to go to the hospital. And we said, officers, he doesn't know where he is.
He's clearly
bleeding from his
disoriented,
face.
right.
He doesn't know his own name. He can't speak
Now
for
tell us
himself.
how he's doing now.
Well, he has gone through one surgery that I know of. He's recovering. He's got people all over the country, you know, closing in around him to support him and to make sure that he doesn't get stuck with the entirety of these medical bills.
Well, don't forget, through the whole campaign, they've been talking about McCain and what a war hero he is, but he's not the only war hero among veterans, and these people are people who've served in a war that are being treated this way by a local police force.
Right.
When they're just trying to go and ask for their issues to be put on the national scale in a presidential debate.
Well, I think that people in this country certainly forget that the candidates do not own this election. Right. The media doesn't own this election. We own this election. The people own this election. The veterans own this election. And it is our issues. It is the things that matter to us that should be heard by these candidates. And when the media and when the process fails the people and fails the veterans, we can sit around and whine about it, or we can organize and demonstrate and do something about it. And we went out there to do something peaceful about it. And this is how our country responded to us, the ones who raised our right hands and swore to support and defend the Constitution. They said, you know that Constitution, you know those First Amendment rights? Explain it to the bottom of my horse's hoof.
Matthis, I want you to tell us a little bit about Iraq Veterans Against the War. How did this group form, and who are the folks who make it up? Who are in it?
Yeah, well, we are veterans and service members. We have active duty people and veterans alike. Basically, any service member who has served after September 11th who agrees with our 3 points of unity is eligible for membership.
What are those 3 points?
Those 3 points of unity are: 1, an immediate withdrawal of all occupying forces from Iraq. This includes soldiers and contractors like Halliburton and Blackwater. 2, we demand full and adequate benefits for all returning veterans, regardless of discharge status. If you spend 1 day in Iraq, you should have the right to health care and educational benefits. And 3rd, we advocate strongly for reparations to be paid to the Iraqi people for the destruction we've caused in their country. We're talking about an occupation that we say is fighting terrorism. In fact, more than 1 million Iraqis are now dead as the result of this occupation, and Americans need to acknowledge this every bit as equally as they do the 4,000 plus soldiers who have also died over there.